Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. This is our concluding session of Shiva Sutra chapter 2. We began from Chit. Is it okay? We began from Chittam Mantraha, how the mantra that we chant should lead us to consciousness. This is how we started. Now we will be concluding today. Yesterday somebody asked me one question. It was a very, very good and deep question, and it deserves understanding. You must have seen when we are talking about Kundalini, we talk about start from the Mooladhara, start unfolding, and come up to the Vishuddha Chakra as the self and not the body, mind, etc. And then this Atma Khyati should lead us to the Agya Chakra, which is Aham Brahmasmi experience, and ultimately dissolve in the Absolute. This is the path of Kundalini we are speaking about. So the journey starts from below, goes up. And when we are telling you about the mantra sadhana, we told you that we are in Vaikhari Vani, Parashruti Gochara, others are able to hear. Then when we do this mantra properly, then we go from the Vaikhari Vani, we come to the Madhyama Vani. And when this becomes purified and mature, we again go down, come to the Pashyanti Vani. And ultimately we merge in the Paravani. So one way we are telling, we start from below and go above. Other way we are telling, we start from above and go below. What is this? See? It is something like this. You are told that if you take a knife and apply it hard on an apple, the apple will cut into two. Or if you are told, you take an apple, hit it on the knife, it is apple only which is going to cut, not the knife. Meaning is the same. So what is the difference between these two? Now let us take first, we start from the Vaikhari Vani, Japa Sadhana. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Vaikhari Vani. Then we become mature in this and migrate as if in the Madhyama Vani. So the japa is chanted in the mind. And when this Vani becomes mature, we migrate to the Pashyanti Vani. Now what is the difference between this? In case of Vaikhari Vani, the object and the word indicating the object, they are separate from each other. Like when I say the book is a word, and what is in my hand is the object. So that experience where the word and the object remain separate from each other is the waking experience, and in this waking experience we use the Vaikhari Vani, the gross speech, which can be heard by others. we are living at this level. We are all at this moment living at Vaikhari Vani. Now when we chant the mantra, the Lord's name properly, then this Vaikhari Vani becomes silent, like when the mango fruit is raw, it's very hard, but when it is on the process of ripening, it starts becoming softer. In the same manner, now the Vaikhari Vani has come up to the throat, that is the Madhyama Vani. In Madhyama Vani, whatever is indicated by the word, book, and the object, both are made of thoughts. Like we sit here and think, tomorrow I have to go and catch the flight. I hope the flight is on time. So I am talking to myself in my mind. So I have to go to airport. So airport is the word, and airport picture comes in front of my mind. Then the flight. Everything is happening in the mind. There is no object around. And nobody is hearing me or nobody knows me. So this experience is Madhyama Vani, where they are separate. Object is separate from the word indicating. But both of them are made out of the material called as thoughts. Both are only thought level. And when this Madhyama Vani becomes mature enough by chanting the Lord's name, then the Madhyama Vani migrates and comes to the Pashyanti Vani at the level of the Umbalikas. Now here what happens? In this Umbalikas level in Pashyanti Vani, the object and the thought, they are not differentiated, but they are in undifferentiated state, although ready to differentiate. That is at the level of the Pashyanti Vani. And from Pashyanti Vani, when we go to the Paravani, this journey from Pashyanti to the Paravani is by the grace of God. Coming up to the Pashyanti Vani is the effort of the seeker. Thereafter it is the divine will, not our efforts. So, from the Pashyanti we merge in the Paravani, that means in the undifferentiated consciousness. This is by the mantra sadhana. So, we started from duality and we merge in the absolute unity. Now, when we talk about awakening the Kundalini, what is happening? The same thing. In the Mooladhara, our experience is, I am body. So, abiding in the Mooladhara chakra is nothing but holding on to the body identification. So, when we hold on to the body identification, we are in duality. In Vaikhari Vani also we are in duality, where the object and the word, they are separate from each other. And in Mooladhara also, because we are identified with the body, there also I versus you is there. Condition is the same. Now from this Mooladhara, when we start analyzing, because of our identification with the body, we consider ourselves to be limited, finite. Therefore, the desire prompts in the mind called as the Swadhisthana chakra, and from the Swadhisthana chakra we come to the Manipur chakra, the greed. So the lower three chakras are living in the Vaikhari Vani, or living in the waking state, or living as body, identified with the body. So the meaning is the same, they are not different. And then from here we come to the Anahat chakra. When we come to the Anahat chakra, now we have discarded the Vaikhari Vani, we have come to the Madhyama Vani. So in case of Madhyama Vani, only the thoughts are the contents. The object is a thought, the word is a thought. So in the Anahata Chakra, we are working on the mind. So whatever we think about is the object. And who is thinking is also a thought. So I thought versus not I thought. Mean if there are too many not I thoughts, that is the food for the I thought. Then the I thought becomes fat because of too much of accumulation of things and too many relations with beings. So this burden of things and beings is the food on which this I thought is feeding, and therefore he becomes very fat, a strong personality. I got this, I got that. And when by the grace of God one understands and starts analyzing that these worldly things are given importance by me, therefore they are troubling me. So then we start devaluating the world, both possessions and relations. When we start devaluating them, then the not I thought contents become less. To that extent, this I thought becomes thinner and weaker. And when there is a zero not I thought, there is I without thought. This thought-free I is coming in the Vishuddha Chakra or going to the Pashyanti Vani. See, they are not different. And when we come to this Vishuddha Chakra, there is only I without thought. This I without thought is not a concept. I am rich, I am poor, I am man, I am woman, I am rich, I am educated, I am uneducated, I am Indian, I am American. These are concepts. They are subject to change. We get bored in America, then we come to India, and then, oh, it's a beautiful country. Let us get citizenship here. We become citizen of India. So this is a concept only, that's it. But I is not a concept. This non-conceptual I is the real self that we are, and this is what, in case of Kundalini awakening, the positioning is in the throat, Vishuddha Chakra. In case of the Japa Sadhana, the positioning is in the Manipur Chakra. Meaning is the same, it's not different. So whether you talk about cutting the apple by the knife or throwing the apple on the knife will not cut. It will be only the apple. In the same manner, when this is clearly understood, then we come to a thought-free I state. And this is what the children say. Suppose the child comes and knocks at the door, tuck, tuck. So we ask, who is there? Child says, I am there. But who is this I? Then he gives the name. So the truth is I. And this is a common thing for everyone. See, I doesn't have a gender. He, she has gender. He, she has got a plural, they. I doesn't have plural. I is only one. And when you make plural of I, it includes second person, third person. But when you make the plural of he, she, it continues to be the third person. This thought-free I is the one up to here is our effort. Now see what happens. When we thus start living as consciousness, not further grossified as mind. The moment consciousness gets grossified as mind, immediately the personality is born. And when we become established in this experience, then our perceptions start changing in this world. Because now our standpoint has changed. When my standpoint is, I am rich, so what will be the perception? The world is divided into rich and poor. When my standpoint is, I am old, the world is young and old. When my standpoint is, I am intelligent, then the world is dumb and intelligent like me. See? And when I take the position, I am American, then the world is Americans and non-Americans. I am German. The world is German, non-German. These are conceptual things, they are not real, subject to change. And when we thus leave all concepts, only presence, non-specific presence. I am man, I am woman, I am young, old. This is the specific presence. The non-specific presence is the Atmakhyati, or coming in the Vishuddha Chakra, or abiding in the Pashyanti Vani. Meaning is the same. Thus, when we come to this stand, then the perceptions immediately change. It is something like this. I'll give one or two examples to make this point. A wave against another wave. So what will be the perception? I versus you, number one perception. Number two, competition. Number three, jealousy. Number four, envy. Comparison. Because I versus you. Now this I versus you is further evolved. Now the relation is dropped with the world. Now I versus my God. Wave versus the ocean. Will the wave have competition with the ocean? Will the wave have jealousy with the ocean? Will the wave compare with the ocean? No. Only surrender to the ocean. Be very attentive. And when this wave surrenders to the ocean, will the wave continue to exist? Ocean can become a wave cannot become an ocean. Now the wave will disappear in the ocean. Now, from the ocean standpoint, when the ocean looks at the waves, what will be the experience of the ocean? Name dveshoste na priyaha. None I love, none I hate. Ocean doesn't hate the tsunamis and Katrinas. An ocean doesn't love the ripples and the surf. See, friends, coming to this Vishuddha Chakra as non-conceptual I and coming to the Pashyanti Vani, both are living at the ocean level. And therefore, when a seeker by proper process evolves, and the evolution is first, know the secret of the Mooladhara Chakra, that body identification is the cause of all problems. If body identification is not dropped, desires will be paramount importance, Swadhisthana chakra. When desires are fulfilled, there is no end to it. Manipur chakra, the greed. So body identification, desire, anger and greed, this is our life story. When we are living at the three lower chakras. And when we discard these three, then we come to Anahata chakra. Now the world is of no consequences to us. Now we are no more working by the mind. Now we are working on the mind. Normally we work by the mind. See? And when we start working on the mind, we understand that mind is nothing but a non-stop interaction between the I thought versus the not I thought. And the frequency of not I thought depends and is directly proportionate to the importance and value we have given to the objective world. If there is zero importance given to the objective world, like in deep sleep, there is no thought. And because there is no thought, there is no ego. But the I remains. So egoless I is the thought-free I. And when we reach this state, then we have reached the Vishuddha chakra. Vishuddha, immaculate, pure. Same thing in case of the Japa Sadhana. Gross world, Vaikhari Vani, pure. We are withdrawn from the waking world along with the waker. We come to the Madhyama Vani, the dream world, where everything is in a thought process. Nothing to worry about the world, only the thoughts. So we start working on the thoughts, on the mind, as we do in case of the Anahata chakra, and then this working slowly dissolves the Madhyama Vani. We come to the Pashyanti Vani. Like the Anahata chakra analysis takes us to the Vishuddha chakra. In Pashyanti Vani, there is no differentiation of subject-object duality. Up to here, whether you talk Vishuddha chakra or you talk up to the Manipur chakra or Pashyanti Vani rather, is the effort of the seeker. And this nobody can help. We have to live our life, we have to die our death, we have to practice our spiritual practice. Nobody can do that spiritual practice for us as a proxy. Don't have that wrong notion, somebody will help, nobody will help. We have to work ourselves. Therefore, when by this process we have come to this point, now we have come to the Vishuddha chakra or to the Pashyanti Vani. Now that experience is said in the 9th sutra, Jnanam Annam. Anna is food. Jnanam. Jnanam is the knowledge gathered through the sense organs and the mind is a food for the consciousness. See, when we take the food, it is digested, assimilated, and the food can have no independent existence. When the food is in the plate, it is other than me. It is only erudition and scholarship. We can only talk on Upanishad, we can give lectures, but no experience. It is something like food in the plate and we are sitting in front and we are discussing about the food. Like one person told me, Swamiji, I have been awarded doctorate. It's very good. Congratulations. I didn't ask on why, on what subject, how does it matter? All those who do doctorate, they are good for nothing. I am very clear about it. They are unfit to live in this world, therefore they go for doctorate. So, I didn't ask. He said, I did doctorate on sleep. Very good. But I got one problem. I don't get sleep. Why? Because I say you have done doctorate on sleep. In the same manner, we talk about Upanishad, we talk about Gita, we talk about God, we talk about devotion, we talk about heaven, we talk about the various stotras and shlokas, but only like the food in front of you, you're watching from a distance. See? Therefore, when this knowledge is really matured and we start living as consciousness, then all the knowledge at the level of the waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi, annam, it is all consumed by this wise man. How it is consumed? Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati eva. Now for him, whether he is amongst the people enjoying or all by himself, whether he is eating a lot or not eating at all, it makes no difference because he has already transcended the relative existence and he is now living as consciousness and no more living as somebody. See, now to understand this, take a subjective experience. Living at the level of the objective world. So we all the time keep on talking and discussing about our achievements and failures. Then you give up that and come at the sense organs level. We'll be all the time talking about enjoyment and indulgence. Then drop that. Come at the level of the mind. Then we talk about the experiences. That day when I sat for meditation, oh, what a lovely experience. Bhagavan Krishna came. But I was surprised, how come he came with a tennis racket in the hand? See. So, we started from the objective world, we come to the sense organs, we come to the mind. Now the same thing, when the objective world is dropped, there is no harm to the sense organs. When sense organs are closed, there is no harm to the mind. When the mind becomes unmanifest, there is no loss to the pure consciousness. So what is the reality? The gross world is not the reality, the sense organs are not the reality, the mind is not the reality, but it is the consciousness which alone has become grossified, it is called as mind. Mind grossified is called as sense organs. Sense organs grossified are called as objects. It is something like, the telescopic antenna. You pull it, it expands. And you push it back, it goes back. In this manner, the whole world is a constant process of manifestation and manifestation, manifestation and manifestation. See, friends, with this knowledge when we live, then we come to know nobody is ever born, nobody ever dies. Can we say the wave is born? Can we say the wave dies? No. Because the wave cannot exist apart from the ocean. So where will it go? It will go back to ocean. Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidananneva tatra ka paridevana. We are all unmanifest and we become manifest and again go back to manifest. Like all the waves are existing in the ocean in unmanifest form. So from the unmanifestation, the waves become manifest. They are not born, they become manifest. They are not created, they were already there. See, it is something like a small child, a girl, when she is slowly growing, a particular age comes, her puberty starts breaking, and all the changes in her physiology start happening. Is it being injected from outside? It was already there, but it was unmanifest. Exactly the same way, this whole world is unmanifest in us. So in the deep sleep there is nothing, but we are there. Then from this I is born. First, awareness about our own being. Then identification with the body. Crystallization of the personality. Then the concept of time, the concept of space, and then activities, and the whole world is coming into existence. This is constantly happening, like a child bringing out the bubble out of the bubble gum and bringing it back. In the same manner, this whole world is constantly coming out, going back, coming out, going back. Now see, is it not breathing? What is breathing? Going in, coming out, going in, coming out, going in. Breathing is not done. Breathing is happening. Life is happening. Life is not done. See? Now he who is living this experience, for him the achievements and failures of the waking world, the friends and enemies in the waking world, and both of them in the dream world, or their total absence in the deep sleep or samadhi, all of them are equal. There is no difference. See, the more you become aware about this fact, living more and more in this awareness is called as spiritual practice. It is not a mechanical thing. Sit in a particular asana and take the mala in the hand and start japa, or do the pranayam and then twist the body. This is all baby 1, baby 2 class. We can't continue to remain in KG1 throughout life. See, friends. Therefore, here, jnanam annam. So for such a person, mrutyum cha kalam cha kala kalapam vikara jatam pratipatti satmyam aikatmya nanatmya vitarka jatam tadasa sarvam kavali karoti. Now for him, there is no birth, there is no death, there is no achievement, there is no failure. Everything is eaten away by him. Kavali karoti. What do we talk about time is in fact not time. For us, time means 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, 1 century, 2 centuries, 1 millennium, 2 millennium. This is what we understand by time. This is the measurement of time. This is not time. The real principle of time is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravriddaha. I am the principle of time who is ready to devour everything in this world. See, time is that principle because of which all the changes happen. That is time. Like when a seed is thrown in the soil, the seed slowly swells up breaks, and then the two shoots come out, one goes down, one comes up, and slowly it is growing, becomes mature, bears the fruits, the seeds, again the seeds fall. Who is doing this? That because of which all the changes are happening, but that which never undergoes any change is the principle of time. See, friends, he who has come to this principle of time, for him how 1 hour, 2 hour, what will be the age? Do yoga so that you can live long. For what? We have not understood the principle of time. We are only measurement of time we know. And this measurement of time is a projection of the mind. When the mind is enfolded as in deep sleep, there is no concept of time. How many hours we slept? Many years before, in Bombay, there was a deluge, and in that I was caught. Up to the neck level, the water was there. I was in a double-decker bus. So, suddenly the wave will come and go above my head. And again it will go back. So, during that time, I had no choice but to do kumbhak. So, when it goes on, like that continued for 5-6 hours. And then the water receded. And I went to my friend's place and slept. And when I got up, I said, oh God, I came at 6 o'clock, it is 10 o'clock, 4 hours I was sleeping. He said, hey, 4 hours. First of all, you are not at my home. You are in the hospital. And this is the 4th day. You were not conscious. Where was the time? See, friends, what we understand by the word time is totally wrong understanding. It's a measurement of time. See? Therefore, he who is abiding in this pure conscious self, he eats away everything. And what is that everything? Time, space, object. See? Desha, Kala, Vastu, Vyakti, Paristhiti, 5 principles. Time, space, object, then a particular situation, everything is consumed by him. In him there is nothing. Kavali karoti. After having established in this, there is no fear of falling down, so he can come into this world and live happily. Such are the masters. Masters are those who have come out of this world completely, discovered their divine nature, and they are not afraid. Again they jump into the same world. But now, no more as somebody, no more as good or bad, as nobody. And when we start living as nobody, then you will understand the joy of life. Why we suffer is only because we are living as somebody. Somebody can be always miserable and nobody is happy. Mr. Nobody alone is happy. You become somebody, you will be miserable. In this manner, the jnanam annam. And another thing, here it is said, atra etad ekamuttis yuktisthe yotpadyate dinadinam bharita karita satra trupti atyanta purnata. And the manifestation of this abidance in the Absolute Self is, there is fulfillment in life. We only know fulfillment of desires. There is a lot of difference between fulfillment of desire and fulfillment in life. We fulfill one desire, second desire is standing in a queue. We fulfill the second desire, the third is waiting. But when there is a fulfillment in life, There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, nothing to protect. In the language of devotion, Bhagavan says, Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. I take care of the needs of my devotee and I protect whatever is required to be protected. See, this experience of fulfillment is all that we are seeking in life. But we have a wrong equation. Our equation is fulfillment of desires is equal to fulfillment in life. This is a wrong equation. Fulfillment of desires will never lead to fulfillment in life. It is something like trying to put off the fire by adding fuel to it. It will grow more and more. If you watch around, how many things we collect in our house, how many things we have, because every time one more thing can be added. And because of that, there is no end to it. But when we discover fulfillment in life, then a ceiling is reached. No more. See? When there is a possibility of addition, it is a desire. When there is no possibility of addition, it is a fulfillment. Like, when we are taken food up to the nose, and somebody asks, Swamiji, have you taken food? How it was? So why the Swami is not talking? So to make him talk, what did you eat? Now you have to talk. But the mouth is full, so you take out the jalebi. Now when you eat so much, can there be any desire to eat food? See, in the same manner, he who has discovered fulfillment in life, he can have no desire. Desire-free existence is God realization. Yada sarve pramuchante kama yasya hridi shritaha atha martyaha amruto hoti atra brahma samashrute. Kathopanishad says, when we live at zero desire level, we are one with the reality. Reality has no desire. God has no desire. See, friends. So, jnanam annam. Therefore, those who are wanting to do to the world, they are caught up in this world. And how they want to do good to the world, be attentive. These are all the NGOs, useless fellows. They are doing good to the world is what? Collect money from various sources. Where it happened in Australia or somewhere. I won't name the organization. Because of something, a donation drive, fundraising drive was raised. And they have collected something like, $50 million. And the money was spent. Out of that $50 million, $30 million were spent on construction of the office and the accommodation for the volunteers and getting the beautiful cars. Is this the social service? The money collected for the welfare of the people, first it is their own welfare. This is not social service. If you want to do social service, earn your money and spend from your pocket. See? Our devotion is like, this Ganeshotsav. We collect money from the people and drink. And that is our devotion. See, friends, If you want to do social service, earn, produce wealth and spend that. Then the social service. But we imagine, oh, I want to do good to the world. And the first thing is raise an NGO and then find out which are the schemes which can be benefited from government funds and how that money can be misappropriated. And the NGO becomes richer and richer day by day. This is how we get caught up in this world. See? Will we ever think of doing good to the people in your dream which is over? Then let goodness happen. Like a flower doesn't give fragrance. The fragrance happens. And therefore, the flower doesn't have the ego that I am distributing free fragrance. But they don't give me ATG certificate. Like Parle-G, they got ATG. ATG is, income tax deduction certificate. That is not the spiritual practice. Therefore, atra ekatamam yuktisthe yotpadyate dinadinam bharitakārita satra trupti atyanta purnata. So, whatever techniques we have seen, take any one of them or two of them, and dinadine, it has to be a continuous practice. Spend more and more time in this contemplation. Stop doing the things. Sit down quiet. To begin with, stop talking to yourself. But because of the old habits and the momentum the mind is in, again the mind will start talking to ourselves. The moment you realize, oh, I am talking, stop it. And don't be frustrated. Find out what was the topic we are talking on. Then you will come to know one day that whatever we have given importance to, that alone becomes the theme of our talk with ourselves. So be aware of this. That when we are sitting, are we giving importance to anything or anybody? Living more and more in awareness is what is called as the spiritual life. Now in the last sutra, the teacher gives a warning, a caution. Vidya samhare taduttha swapna darshanam yada tu evam satatavahito na bhavati tada jnanavataha api asya avadhanava lepat. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Niraharasya dehinaha rasavarajam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. If you are under the force of willpower, I am not going to eat sweets. I will not eat. Don't eat. One day suddenly it will happen. Suppose I am not eating sweets, so what great about it? Those people who have diabetes, they don't eat. What kind of sadhana I was doing? I think I was doing wrong something. Let me eat sweet. Our mind, you should never trust. Trust a cobra. He may not bite, but don't trust the mind. You have to keep the mind under strict vigilance. Therefore, here it is said, Vidya samhare, when our commitment to the cause. See, this is what we tell you 100 times. Spiritual practice is not a part-time profession. It is a full-time preoccupation. Get 100% involved in this. That doesn't mean serious. See? Like Tulsidaji writes, Lobhihi priya jimidam timi raghunath nirantara priya lagahu muhiram. Like a greedy person, wherever he goes, he thinks and works only about money. Like a businessman, travels, business travel, dinner, business dinner, meeting, business meeting. In his life, business is the first, everything is secondary. In the same manner, for the spiritual seeker, every event is a spiritual examination. Every event. And when we are appearing for the examination, then we have to be prepared. See, if we say, no, before the examination I knew everything, and now also I know everything, but I don't know what happened during the examination, everything became a blackout. Many students say like this. What is the use of that knowledge when it was required, that time it was not available? See? Tejasvina vaditamastu. Whatever we have studied and understood, it must be practiced 24/7. A spiritual seeker is a spiritual seeker 24/7. He is not a spiritual seeker only for half an hour meditation, rest of the life frustration. No. It has to be a continuous, unbroken process. And what is that? Very simple. Remain utterly aware about three things. Mind must be quiet, mind must be vigilant, and mind must be alert. If the mind is quiet, mind will not react. But if we give importance to the quietness, then the mind will react. Those who are obsessed with silence, Om Shanti, 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 there should not be any, keep quiet. Meditate, put a board outside, dumb people. Meditation in progress, keep silence. Outside keep silence, inside there are volcanoes that are erupting. That is not spiritual life. See friends, keep the mind quiet, not the world around. But we give importance to the silence outside. Now such a silence addict, such people ultimately end up in depression. They can't tolerate anything in life. See? So they'll be sitting. Mummy is doing meditation. Everybody knows. Nobody should make any noise, okay? And then mummy sits for meditation. And in the bathroom, the tap leaks and one drop falls on the plastic bucket. Tuck. Oh God, I told these children, they don't understand. Tuck. I don't know what should I do. I think I should give tuck. I should go to Himalayas, tuck. With every small little drop, this meditator is agitated. And after a few sufficient agitation, then the drop falling stops. Oh, what happened? Water gone? I had to wash clothes. Meditation. See, friends, this is not spiritual life. Let there be fire all over the world. Don't lose your cool. Don't give importance to the silence outside. Let the mind be at peace. See? How the mind can be at peace? It is something like this. Take out a tray of ice from your fridge. In each box, the ice cube is very comfortable. My place, don't come here. and then remove them and put them in a jar. Every ice cube will have its personality. So many gaps in between. They are not at home. And when the same ice cubes, they become water, they are at home. Put in any pot, no problem. We are like ice cubes. Don't touch me, keep away. I am doing meditation. Don't you know? Meditation. And they want their particular thing. Whenever I see these yoga fellows, I am reminded of the terrorist. The spiritual terrorists are these yoga fellows. Like the terrorists carry the AK-47 all the time, the yoga students carry their mattress, yoga mattress. Wherever they go, ta-da, and Shavasana. Hare Rama, this is not spiritual life. See, there are two types of people. They keep the cows so that they can take out milk and prepare ice cream, sell and earn money. One type of people. There are other type of people. Their attention is not on the milk and ice cream. Their attention is on the cow dung. And they say, let us make a gobar gas plant. Hare Ram Ram. In the same manner, make use of life for something higher. Health is a secondary thing. It will come. See, one of my friend, he is no more. He was pretty younger than me. And this happened on the banks of Narmada Ji at Malsar. Very nice person. So when I was there for almost 15-20 days, and I was teaching the students Panchadashi. So we used to have our regular classes, morning meditation class, then chanting, then we used to have 2 classes on Panchadashi. Evening we used to go to Narmada Ji, take bath and nice food. It was going on day by day, same routine. And he was never interested in all this. He was a Mahanta. People coming doing namaskar to him and he will be giving the blessing. That was the only thing he knew, nothing else. And all the time, we want money, we have to construct this thing, I have constructed that, I have to give the painting, the walls are becoming, only this, no other thing. And he told me, Swamiji, you stop all these lectures, nothing happens with the lectures. You stay here, I will take care of yourself completely. Then he told, last time you came, you met that Mahatma, Gopal Baba, yes. He died here, I completed all his rites. So I promise you, I'll complete all your rites, don't worry about it. But you stay here and enjoy life. Do Ram Nam, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram. There is no interest, meaning in these lectures and yoga. I said, all right, I'll let you know. After that, within 6 months he died. Where do I go? See, friends, he had this notion, I am younger than the Swamiji, therefore I will live longer, so I can finish his rites and then I will go. This is not life, man. Hold on to the Lord. Be established in this truth. Don't give a single chance. The big accidents happen only when we take things for granted in life. Never take one moment in life for granted. Never once. All accidents happen only when we have taken things for granted. Therefore, vidya samhare. And when this happens, then tadutha swapna darshanam. Then again this dream world of mental projection begins. See? All people like us, they come on the spiritual path for what? God realization. I want God realization. And you come. And then you go to some ashram and you start studying. And then you start watching. The Mahatmas are given so much of respect. They get so much of comfort. And then they have many ashrams. Now this person who is studying Upanishad Gita, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, then the mind starts spinning the stories. I should have ashram here, I will have disciples, and I will do this, and I will open a school, I will open a temple. One man asked me this question, Swamiji, you are little abnormal. I said, that is the manufacturer's defect, is not my fault. Why don't you start a school? I said, why should I start? He said, no, all Mahatmas start the school. I said, no Mahatma is told by the society to start the school. Nobody is told. Then it is the itch of the Mahatma, Kujli. He wanted to start the school. He said, why don't you start? I said, listen, children you produce, in school I will start. You have produced children, you start your school. You are very, very strong. I said, yes. I am not here for running your school and be a babysitter for kids. See? Okay, one person told me in Karnataka that, Swamiji, that hillock you see? I said, yes. Why don't you build an ashram there? I said, I don't want. No, I'll build for you. Everything I will do. But it should be your ashram. I said, then you build. Why you require me? No, so whenever we want, we can come and meet you there. I said, do you want me to be a watchman there or what? See, don't get caught up in this world. Vidya Samhare Swapna Darshan Samuttanam. You forget only one moment. What for we have come in this world? That one moment forgetfulness is enough to start the samsara again. See? Therefore, one has to remain extremely alert. Let us not take a single moment in our life for granted. न च एतद् अप्रसन्नेन शंकरेण उपदिश्यते कथंचित् उपदिष्टेपि वासना नैव जायते. Many times it happens that, oh, I have studied, my guru was great. See? I was recently in some place and there was one person who was a great devotee and very close to a great master. And when I went there, and he was blessed by the master 100 times, so many places, so many ways. And when I went there, he was in depression. Swamiji, see, that Mahatma Ji has been always blessing me. Now he has gone. I don't know now whom to should I go. Therefore I have come to you. Please help me. I said, you have already killed one fellow. Now you want to kill me? Run away, run away. I will not be with you. These Kundalini fellows, they say the same thing. One person told me, Swamiji, I was given the Shaktipat Diksha, and by the grace of my Guru, all my chakras opened, my Kundalini is awakened. Now, what should I do? I said, you go and ask your Guru. No, he died after giving me Diksha. I said, thank God you told me, run away, I don't want you around. You are a Guru eater, you will kill me. No, but tell me what should I do with my chakras open? I said, close them. It's like my buttons open, what should I do? Close the buttons. If you are left with any doubt in your mind, you are far away from the truth. The doubt-free experience is God realization. See? There is only one experience where there is no doubt, and that is our presence. Whether I am or I am not, there is no doubt. this eternal presence, we remain extremely alert, quiet. When we remain quiet, meaning when the mind remains quiet, let there be disturbances outside. They can't touch me. See? And for that, two things. Alert. Is our mind running here and there? Vigilant. Is the mind the victim of old habits? These two things. With this, if we do not remember, then Vidya Samhare, whatever we have studied, gain will be lost in no time. Vasana matrada bepi yo apramattaha na jayate tamanitteshu bhogeshu yojayanti vinayakaha. This is how in the external world the prosperity is the cause of fall, and in the inner world these siddhis are the cause of fall. We have to protect ourselves from both and remain firmly abiding in one's own self. This is how the second chapter of Shiva Sutra is complete. There is one more chapter, the third chapter. God willing, we will have it next time. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.